Hey, what's going on, everybody? Day 30 of TNT phase for Prime Inc. My honest opinions of the TNT program. Let's see where to start. So we got picked up 30 days ago today. Today is Friday, whatever the day it is. I'm not real sure. It's like the 17th or something like that of November. So far, I have done 20,255 miles of my 50K. So that puts us right on track to have that be a 10-week process, basically. But honestly, it just depends on the loads you're getting, how far those loads have to go. The only thing that counts is your dispatched miles. So if you're driving around trying to find parking after you've done a delivery, those miles aren't going to count. Try to always get dispatched ahead of time before you leave, so that way you are getting credit for those miles. But overall, my trainer, Dariel, he has been great. I feel like even 4 weeks in, I feel like I've got a really good grasp on the entire process. There's always going to be things that pop up that even experienced, seasoned drivers are going to have to learn in the heat of the moment or adapt to. There's nothing you can do about that. Those things are going to come up, whether it's a new shipper or receiver that you've never been to and their parking situation's kind of weird, you're going to have to adapt on the fly to that. But overall, I would say my TNT phase has been great. Ultimately, it's somewhat on the trainer to make sure that they're training the trainees properly. However, it is a lot on the trainee themselves. You have to take the initiative to want to learn as well. You have to take the initiative to want to drive. You have to take the initiative that when it's time to back, to want to back, to get better at that sort of stuff. Keep in mind, guys, even though during your TNT phase, you're technically an employee of Prime, as a W-4, more times than not, your trainee or your trainer is going to be a 1099 independent contractor. But they're the ones paying you. Prime isn't paying you. How does this relationship work and make it more beneficial for that person that's training you? That is an important part of this concept. If Prime's not getting loads to the trainers that have a good pay on them, or you don't get enough loads that week to kind of make the bank, essentially, that trainer still has to pay you, the trainee. You're getting paid as a trainee regardless. So put in the time and the effort to make it worth their while to want to keep training you. Also, keep in mind that trainer, if you have a bad week of runs or a bad week of low-paying loads, that trainer might not be making any money that week because they have a truck note they got to pay as well. Plus, they got to pay you. Plus, they got their own expenses, the fuel and all that other stuff. So you could have a week where the trainer might only take home $300, and they're the trainer. Prime, if you ever watch any of this, keep that in mind too. Find a way to make this beneficial for the trainers. It can't just be we when it needs to be we as a team. It needs to be we all the time. If a trainer is turning down a load because the pay is bad on that load, there's a reason. It doesn't fit their business model. They got to find a way to make enough money for themselves to cover all their expenses and their bills at home, as well as pay the trainees, since Prime isn't paying the trainees as the 1090 or as the W-4 employee. Overall, though, I've really enjoyed my time here. So far with Prime, I really like their setup. We're at the Salt Lake terminal right now, and you can see the mountains off in the distance behind me there. They got a lot of the new trucks are kind of all lined up along here. Bobtail's parked over there. We got some more new trucks. A lot of Freightliners out here. A lot of Peterbilts. A lot of people have their opinions on the different types of trucks. My trainer has a Freightliner, so that's what I'm driving right now. When it comes time to actually test, I'm going to test drive the Peterbilts too, so I can have a good comparison between them and see what I like, what I don't like. Peterbilts, I've heard, are more expensive on the repairs. Some people say they get worse fuel mileage. Some people say they get better fuel mileage. I think that just depends on how you drive. But the Peterbilts are more luxurious on the inside. There are restrictions on the space for both of them. The Freightliners have more space for a taller refrigerator or a larger refrigerator, whereas the Peterbilts have them built in. You can get like a table set up with the Freightliners. I don't know if you can get that with the Peterbilts, where you lift the bed up Murphy bed style, and then you can put the table assembly in place to where you have like a little dinette in your truck as well. But yeah, all things that I'll have to look into when it comes time to pick out my truck. But overall, really enjoying my time in the TNT phase. We're going to actually be out on the road till right around the 22nd of December, and then we'll be off until just after January 2nd, I think, something like that is the plan right now. If we are able to average about 6,000 miles over the next 35 days per week, so over the next 5 weeks, if we can average about 6,000 miles, we'll be able to wrap up my 50 before I go home, or right about the time that I go home, which just means I get put on the list to then get it to be in line to then get my truck. You know, maybe that list filters through and it's my turn by time our time is done off the road or at home time, which would be great. I'd love to come back beginning of January and actually start off on my own and get rolling. But if I have miles to still do after that, I'm completely content coming back out. Like I said, Daryl's been great, so it's been fun having him as a trainer. We get along really well. We communicate really well. That's a big part of it too, is communication. He's a younger guy. I'm a middle-aged guy, I guess, at 43. So, but my time in the service is, you know, that's helped me adapt to just, you know, hey, that person's in charge. It doesn't matter what their age is. It's what their experience is and what they bring to the table to be able to teach you, to get you to your goals. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Appreciate that. Don't really have any footage of the trips. You know, most of the time this past week, I've been off during the nights and driving during the day-ish hours. So there's not a lot to really show you scenery wise for those, but I'm gonna try to get you some more time lapses so we can roll some of those for you. You'll have some talking head videos like this every now and then you'll have some videos that are just some, you know, background music and time lapses of the trips. So hopefully we can get you some more good content. We got to head up to Tremonton this evening to drop off this load real quick up there, and then figure out what our next load after that is. Probably coming out of Salt Lake here again to head out somewhere, hopefully something with a decent amount of miles. Maybe going to the East Coast would be great. Knock some of that out and get some more miles done for the week. So thanks guys again for watching. Don't forget, if you could, hit the like button. Appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button, and if you feel like sharing this, that'd be great too. Lets other people see the content, lets them know what we're doing over here and sharing our experiences with you, and I'll always give you my honest opinions on stuff. So thanks guys, appreciate you. Take care. See ya.